Hello everyone! I have been meaning to put up new videos about various Sanskrit meters for some time, but as those of you who follow my channel know, I always take far too long to post new videos, for which I apologize. The reason why I am beginning with this particular meter is that I'm about to teach a course reading a text that uses the Mandākrāntā Metre. That text is the Meghadūta, the Cloud Messenger by the poet Kālidāsa. And this video is, first of all, for my students. Hello, everyone. But of course, it's also for everybody else who might be interested in Sanskrit metrics. And if you think you might possibly be interested in participating in this course and aren't signed up yet, please just go to the homepage of my channel, where at the same time as I'm posting this video that you're watching right now, I'm also posting a short video about that Kālidāsa course and also about another course that I'm teaching on what is called Sanskrit in Translation. So both of those videos you can find on my channel as well. Apologies for a little bit of advertising here, but let's come back to Mandākrāntā Metre. Some basics. Mandākrāntā literally means slowly stepping or slowly advancing. And this meter is first attested in the poem that I just mentioned, the Meghadūta, and its creation is traditionally attributed to Kālidāsa. We don't know whether that's correct, but fact simply is that the Meghadūta is the earliest surviving poem to use this meter, and we then later find it used by in other poems by other poets as well. And there's lots of things that one can say about this meter from a technical, from an aesthetic point of view, but I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm just going to stick to the basics. Now, what are those? In Mandākrāntā, each verse has 4 lines. Each line has 17 syllables, and these 17 are split up into groups of 4, 6, and 7 syllables. And these syllables always follow the same pattern. So as you can see here, the first group of 4 is 4 heavy syllables. Then the second group is 5 light and 1 heavy. And the third group consists of a mix of heavy and light syllables, and the last syllable in that group, which is also the last syllable in the line, can be heavy or light. That's why I've marked it with this X. It's usually heavy, but we also do find some instances of light syllables in those positions. Now, if you're mostly used to working with shloka meter so far, then you know verses that have 2 lines, which consist of 16 syllables each. And these 16 syllables are split up into 2 equal groups of 8 syllables. But perhaps the main difference for you is that in shloka we have huge variety, huge flexibility when it comes to the patterns that are created by those syllables. The first, the second, the third syllable, they can be light, they can be heavy, as I say, lots of variation. But in Mandākrāntā, the syllables always follow this exact same pattern that you see here. And when people recite Mandākrāntā texts, sometimes they just make sure that they make their heavy syllables heavy and their light syllables light, but many also use chants for their recitations. And the chant that you see here is the chant that I've encountered most frequently. I was first taught it by McComas Taylor, for which many thanks. And many thanks also to my musician friends who have helped me write this down. So what you can see here is 1 line. As I say, each Mandākrāntā verse has 4 lines. The 4 lines are all identical. They each have 17 syllables. So this is the chant for 1 line. Now you can see here that some syllables, for example 1, 2, 3, are represented by several notes. And others, for example 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, are all represented by just 1 note, and you'll see what that sounds like in just one moment. The heavy syllables are represented by 1 quarter note, for those of you in the UK, by 1 crotchet, or alternatively by 2 eighths, so 2 quavers that add up to 1 quarter. And the light notes, such as 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, are represented by 1/8 note, by 1 quaver. You can chant this at any pitch you like. Completely depends on what you are most comfortable with in your individual vocal range. Now, what does this chant sound like? Na 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 na. And once more. Na 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 na. Let's look at this together with an actual example. This is the first verse of the Meghadūta, of the cloud messenger. And just as a quick reminder, a light syllable is a syllable that ends in a short vowel. So for example, in the second group, in the first line, where you have wi, ra, ha, gu, ru, each of these syllables ends in a short vowel. And so they're counted as light. A heavy syllable ends in anything else. That can be a long vowel, for example, viraha guru na, or gamita mahi ma, better example in the second line. Or it can end in a complex vowel. Complex vowels are e, I, o, au. So for example, in the second line where we begin with sha, pe, na, stang. So sha is heavy because it ends in a long vowel. Pe is heavy because it ends in a complex vowel. Nas is heavy because it ends in a consonant. Now we think of syllables as ending in consonants whenever we have, after a vowel, not one, but more than one consonant. Whenever you have just one consonant after a vowel, for example, to go back to the first line, wi, ra, ha, gu, ru, na, lots of single consonants, these all count as standing at the beginning of their respective syllables. But when you have more than one consonant after a vowel, as for example at the very beginning of the first line, kashchit, kanta, so you after this a in kashchit, you have two consonants, the sh and the ch, and whenever you've got that, you count the first consonant as standing at the end of the first syllable, and the second consonant and any possible other consonants count as standing at the beginning of the second syllable. So kash, the very first syllable here, ends in a consonant and therefore is counted as heavy, even though the vowel in this syllable is short. Now, as you look through this text, you'll see that I've split the syllables up so that they make sense on a metrical basis. I have not paid attention to whether a consonant or two consonants belong to one word or to several different words. So, for example, at the end of the first line, you have swadikara pramattah, and swadikara is a word, one's own duty, and pramattah is another word, which means negligent. And here the syllable rap in the middle is rap for metrical purposes, but when you pay attention to the morphology, the form of the words, it would be swadikara, and the new word would be pramattah. So just in case you were confused by this, or you are confused by this, what you see here is the syllables split up so that they make sense metrically. Right, but now let's see what this sounds like. So we have, starting with the first line, Kashchit kanta viraha guruna swadikara pramattah shapinastam gamita mahima varsha bhogyena bartuh yakshashchakre janakatanaya snana punyodakeshu snigdhachaya tarushu vasati ramagirya shrameshu. And another example, just the second verse. Tasmin adrau katichidabala viprayuktah sakami nitva masan kanakawalayab rangsharikta prakoshtah ashadasya prashamadivase megamashlishta sanum Vaprakrida parinatagaja prekshaniya. And one final example. Tasya stitva katamapi purach kitakadhana hitor antarbashpastiram anucharo rajarajyasya dadyao Meghaloke bhavati sukhino pyanyatha varti chetah Kantashlesha pranayini jane king punardura sansthe. And this is how you would chant every verse from then on. I hope you found this useful. I hope you found this helpful. If you have questions, please just put them in the comments underneath this video. And thank you for watching, and maybe see you in my Meghadūta course.